effort of companies up and down the country, but particularly here in North Dorset, where what they're doing is putting in gigabit broadband at an incredible pace, and they're doing it with government support. I think we put about 5 billion into it when I first got in. When I first became Prime Minister, only 7% of the premises of this country had gigabit broadband. That's now up to 70%. And if you can put it into remote rural communities, what you're going to do is level up. You're going to give people opportunities that they wouldn't have had before. You're going to give them ability to connect in a way that was completely unimaginable before. And that enables businesses to thrive and prosper in remote areas. It means that people can stay where they grew up. They don't have to go to live in towns or cities, and it is absolutely transformational. Now, the problem with gigabit is it's been restricted to areas like cities where it's easy to put in, and what we're seeing now is the driving out of gigabit communications across the countryside, and that will deliver the basic fundamentals for prosperity and growth for decades to come. And so we're putting in stuff like that, and it's in addition to all the things that we're doing with high-speed rail and all the rest of it.
Away from staying connected to the internet, of course, a lot of people want an update on the cost of living crisis, staying connected to electricity and power and so forth. You said at the weekend that huge support is on from whoever your successor is going to be in less than a week.
Yes.
But what people have lacked over the summer is they're really worrying about the rising cost of these bills, these scary bills coming, is the detail. So is it an opportunity now, Prime Minister?
Yeah, let me go
detail of what the next package of support will be.
Let me go over what's coming up, because I think
not what's already announced, but the next.
I think what people need to know is what's coming up in the next few months. And so it's very important to remember that there's £1,200 going to 8 million vulnerable households. In October, you're going to get £400 going to virtually everybody. That's 29 million households will get £400. In November, every pensioner is going to get £300 to help with the cost of energy. Plus, everybody who's entitled to disability benefit is going to get £150. Now, all that is on top of what we're doing with increasing the living wage, increasing support through universal credit.
But you promised at the weekend, Prime Minister, I must just ask, because you promised at the weekend the extra support, and on top of all those billions of pounds, which is fantastic, but we've known about that for weeks now. Are you aware of, for instance, what Liz Truss's economic plan is? Rishi Sunak's camp saying that she hasn't got one. We were hoping to hear tonight in an interview which she pulled out from. Do you know what her economic plan might be?
Yeah, look, let me give you the figures. So there's a huge amount coming, already come, £650 already come, a lot more to come. What the government is also going to do, whichever of the two candidates gets in next week, what the government is also going to do is provide a further package of support for helping people with the cost of energy. What we've got to do is get through the tough months ahead. I'm not going to shrink from this. It is going to be tough in the months to come. It's going to be tough through to next year, and that's because of Putin's war in Ukraine. Being absolutely no doubt, the gas price, it's gas, is being driven by what Putin did in Ukraine. But we're going to get through it. This year, I'm going to give you a statistic. We're taking 26% more of our own gas from the North Sea than we did last year. We're much less dependent on Putin's supplies. June this year took zero fuel from Russia for the first time in decades. And at the same time, what we're doing, and I just want to give people a sense of hope and perspective, because the crucial thing, in addition to the cash that we're putting in, and don't forget, we can put the cash in because we're in a strong economic position. Basically, we have very low unemployment. We have the reserves because we came out of COVID.
Let's just quickly move on, because I know you've not got very much time.
I'm just going to complete one point.
Very quick.
Very, very important, because people do care about this. They want to know that we're going to have the long-term British energy security strategy, and we are. We're putting in more nuclear, and you're going to be hearing more about that later this week, and we're putting in absolutely shed loads of wind power as well.
3 more questions.
Yes.
Let me ask about Pakistan. Obviously, we've seen these devastating floods there. will the UK be sending a package of aid to Pakistan?
Yes, of course, and I can tell you that our sympathies are very much with the people of Pakistan, and we've seen the devastation there, and it's absolutely heartrending. That Pakistan is traditionally one of the biggest recipients of UK overseas aid. We will, of course, make sure that we send a fitting package commensurate with the vital relationship that there is between the UK and Pakistan, and people's natural sympathies with those who've been affected by the floods.
This might be the last time we see you as Prime Minister in a high-vis, and we also want to talk about sort of legacy, and there's been a lot of chat over the weekend about a comeback potentially. Are you going to go to the back benches? Are you going to get out of politics? What's your plan after next Tuesday?
No, I'm concentrating on today, and today is a great day for me. A very exciting day. When I became one of the reasons, one of my theme tunes when I was campaigning to be leader of the Conservative Party, when I was campaigning to become Prime Minister 3 or 4 years ago, it was all about gigabit broadband, because I know how important it is.
We've had a lot of gigabit broadband. I'm already being tapped on the shoulder, Prime Minister. Will you rule out a comeback at all?
What I want to talk to you about.
We've had a big chunky question on the fantastic rural broadband. Will you rule out a comeback, Prime Minister?
People are far more interested, in my view, than I humbly submit to you. Okay, you can disagree if you like, but I think, on the whole, people in this country are more interested in their gigabit broadband than they are in the fate of this or that politician.